We are launching this brand new app just recently. It's called Rumour.app. The concept is hear it first and trade it fast. So when we're talking about this rumor trading or this rumor cycle trade, right? Typically, we think about like, okay, if we hear some sort of insider info or some sort of rumors within our inner circle, we typically feel that it's the best timing to do the entry by putting long or short positions. And after that, like this kind of rumor probably will have some sort of more circulations and the KOLs will shout out on the Twitter, Telegram, or different groups, right? And then we can ride down the wave. And after that, once this rumor confirmed or the news is sort of released, right? That's the best timing to exit the position. Basically, we need to close the position. And for most of the time, right, we want to be the insiders and basically really do this buy the rumor and sell the news. But the reality is, for most of the time, for probably most of us, we don't really know much about the insider info. For example, this sort of ETH, ETF, whether approved or Solana, this ETF approved very soon, or it has to wait for like sort of a few weeks or a few months. So that's sort of the reality. We want to know the rumors, but we don't really have the source to really get the sort of information. And for most of the time, especially in crypto space, right? It's not really about truth. It's really about like the rumor circulations. For most of the time, it's really about the timing. And we roughly know this kind of rumors, like for example, ETH sort of ETF, or sometimes this DAT formation, right? If we roughly know this kind of rumors or like sort of insider info, that's the best timing for us to really enter or put a position. But at the same time, if the news or sort of the rumor confirmed widely to the public, that's sort of the best timing for us to really exit the position. So as I mentioned, right, it's not really about the truth. Like for most of the time, rumors may not be confirmed, but it's really about like the timing. If we can enter as early as possible, that's a sort of always the best timing for us to really sort of set up the position. And this is not just sort of happening in crypto space. We all know that in this stock market, right? There's a lot of these revenue, sort of these earning costs, and beyond that, if we roughly know, for example, the NVIDIA or sometimes like this Oracle, right? We know if we know roughly they have a super big revenue for the last quarter, it'd be great like for us to really put a sort of a long position on it. But at the same time, if, as I mentioned, right, the rumor or the news confirmed or released to the public, that's sort of the time everything pricing, and the sort of stock price already is up a lot, and it's the best time for us to exit. And accordingly, in crypto market, it's quite similar. When I sort of the end of 2023, we're not that sure about like the BTC ETF will be approved, right? By that time, actually, the best timing for us to sell as many BTC as possible. And once later, like in January, sort of the BTC ETF re-approved, we can see the price up, and then sort of after that, the price always around this all-time high. At the same time, it doesn't really like sort of up over and over again. So that's sort of the thing I want to mention is basically when we hear something about the rumor, if we can roughly verify across the crowd, and sometimes it may not be real, but if we have a lot of people really believe in it, so that's the best timing for us to really have sort of this entry point. And at the same time, if the rumor is proved real, and sometimes the news is also released, that's the best timing basically for us to exit. Same to, but in crypto, right? We know that this market is pretty different to the sort of stock market at the same time. We have a lot of transparency issues, like for example, the recent launch token, right? Even we know that there's public circulation supply, but we all know that the teams or the Persian may control like a lot of this liquidity and also the token themselves. Even they promise to give a big portion of airdrop, but at the same time, like they don't really deliver the airdrop during the TGE. So that's sort of the information we really want. Even there's a public information and also some disclosure, but in crypto, these information are not good enough for us to make a lot of these kind of predictions of the price. So that's why for Rumour.app, we also want to provide this platform for people to really review as much information as possible for the transparency. So as I show you, right, of course, like there's some positive rumors, like there's the ETF approval, but at the same time, of course, there's some other negative ones. For example, the team or founders may want to sell, and sometimes they already vary the market maker. If we really know this information, that would be great, like basically for us to really either to put the long or short position accordingly. Of course, we know, right, if the token to be listed on Bithumb or Bit, these kind of exchanges, typically there will be a spec. If we can really place a lot of positions before that, that will be good. But at the same time, once the news is out, basically it's priced in, and the price will just sort of drop a lot. So that's sort of a thing. We all know that it's, we want to buy the rumor and sell the news. Basically, we introduced the Rumour.app as like sort of the very unified platform for all the participants and the users to really get the access to these rumors and also the insider info as early as possible, so we can really hear it first and trade it fast. At the same time, as I just mentioned at the beginning, right? So there's a lot of information in crypto are quite unique compared to the stock market, and because like we don't really have all these enforcement of the transparency of a lot of information for the project. So that's why for most of the time we really need to rely on like sort of these information from the insiders and sometimes also from these collaborative partners, right? So it's either on the positive side, for example, some potential partnerships, and also sometimes, like we all know that even there's a partnership, but it may not be the real partnership with some concrete sort of results. So that's also the information we want to know. And at the same time, there's a bunch of other information, as I mentioned, right? This circulation supply, and also sometimes like it's about the product launch, whether it's a real launch or sometimes they got some delays about the launch. So these are all the information we want to know and can help us to make a better prediction or better like sort of this position allocation accordingly. And of course, a lot of people may ask, okay, we already have this crypto Twitter, right? So is it good like we just get the information from crypto Twitter and also the Telegram groups? The reality is, right now, if we spend a lot of hours on reading this Twitter information, right, we can see that there are a lot of these paid KOLs and content everywhere. And for most of the time, there's a bunch of advertisements. And if we spend, even we spend a few hours, right, but it's just too much noise, and we couldn't or barely can get any useful information. So that's why we have this Rumour.app. You can treat it as a super powerful AI-powered platform to help you to curate all the useful rumors and also information for you to make the decisions for your trading. One concrete example is really about like some sort of this movement drama happened like a few months ago. We all know that the Sam, the reporter from CoinDesk, he reported that there could be some shadow co-founder of a movement, and there can also be some like under-table deals with their market maker. However, this information actually got spread in some events like this TOKEN2049 during Dubai. If you already know this kind of drama or roughly know these rumors, and you probably can really place your position much earlier before the news out. So in that case, as when the news out, right, the token price drop a lot, and basically you can close your position. This is one of these perfect example, similar to a bunch of these ETF approval or a bunch of these new token listing. And these are all like sort of not confirmed information, but at the same time, if you roughly know the rumors earlier, that would be a great source for you to make the decision ahead of time. Another example, basically, a few days ago, actually last week during KBW, there are rumors that the Naver, the biggest sort of map and also search engine going to acquire like sort of the update, and the sort of the rumor got spreaded on this Rumour.app like sort of 1 hour earlier than the news was out. So that's sort of the best timing for you to really do a lot of trading around these rumors. And if you just scan the QR code, use the Rumour, you will see that it's not just a platform to curate all the rumors and the news for you to view all this cool information. But at the same time, it's also a good platform to help you to do trading. So later, I will just show a bunch of screenshots. So you see that with our super powerful AI backend, it can basically help you to filter out the noise and present the latest rumors and also the ones from the user submitted from the platform. And then roughly you can really get the early access to a lot of rumors and information. And after that, you can directly trade at the same app. As I mentioned, right, since you just scan QR code, you can just have a try. The cool things, as I mentioned, right, it's a PWA application. You can either use your browser on the desktop or mobile browser and to access it. And you don't need to install any wallet. You can use social login, Google, Farcaster, and also your Twitter to log in. And as you can see, right, like by default, you will see a lot of these latest rumors across different channels, TG, Twitter, and also some other data source providers we have. And beyond that, as I mentioned, right, we buy the rumor and sell the news. We also have the section with all the latest curated news our AI got from different channels. And beyond that, we also have this very unique chat group. Basically, for each rumor, you can exactly sort of talk to the other participants and users and to chat about, okay, how you feel about the rumor, and then quickly you can get the overall sentiment from the others. And beyond that, the chat group is super powerful. You can make it as a paid group, and at the same time, it can support tons of 100 users to communicate at the same time simultaneously. And beyond that, as I mentioned, right, it's not a prediction market, but our AI will help you to associate the corresponding ticker for this for the rumor. So in that case, if the rumor is positive, you basically can open a long position in this app. If it's relatively negative, and you can also check out this sentiment from the other user, then you can open this short position for it. Overall, if you use it like sort of on this desktop browser, you can see that as I mentioned, right, it's a bunch of these tickers, and you can also check out the sentiment from the other users. You can also click bullish or bearish to generate your own sentiment. And overall, like first, you can see the latest rumor. Second, you can see the sentiment from the other users. Third, you can also like talk to the other users in the group. And beyond that, you can also do the trade on top of it. As I mentioned, right, this brand new app is a brand new concept, rumor trading. We want all users and participants to have the equivalent sort of access to this early information to buy the rumor and sell news. As I mentioned, right, just scan the QR code and join as early users, and we'll give you some surprise in the near future. Meanwhile, we're also running some sort of campaigns along with the host, and you can submit your rumors, and you can grab a bunch of rewards. And beyond that, if you trade to a certain amount of volume, you will also get some airdrop and rewards. Yeah, that's my presentation. Hope you can enjoy the rumor trading. Thank you.